We are following breaking news in the Murdaugh investigation. Was there a secret camera near the front of the Murdaugh property that fateful night when Paul and Maggie Murdaugh were killed? That's just one of the tantalizing questions posed in new court testimony that we've just received. Investigative reporter Ann Emerson is here to tell us what this could mean. Ann?
Well, Katie, we're learning about this possible video surveillance on the Murdaugh's Colleton County home. And that's where the murders took place. That comes from court transcripts just released in the Mallory Beach civil case. In testimony to the court, Mark Tinsley, attorney for the Beach family, tells the judge that he spoke to a private investigator from Charleston. Now, Tinsley says she was hired by attorneys for Parker's gas stations to spy on Paul Murdaugh. At the time, that PI told Tinsley she was videoing Paul Murdaugh for over a year, even within 3 days of his murder. In her surveillance, Tinsley says the PI placed a camera possibly at the driveway to Moselle. So there's video there. The judge asks Tinsley, did anyone confirm that there was a camera placed at the entrance to Moselle? And Tinsley replies that the Attorney General's office confirmed to him that SLED has received video from the PI. We've reached out to the PI who Tinsley claims took the video and are waiting to hear back. Now, here's where it came from. The family of Mallory Beach is suing the gas station Parkers, who they say sold alcohol to an underage Paul Murdaugh. Mallory died in a 2019 fatal boat crash with Paul Murdaugh, who was allegedly drunk behind the wheel. Now, according to these court documents, the lawsuit claims Parkers then launched a smear campaign trying to discredit the lawsuit in that alleged attempt.
A close friend of Alex Murdaugh is now out of jail. We're talking about Cory Fleming. He's a suspended Beaufort attorney who appeared in a hearing today. Our Ann Emerson watched that hearing. So, Ann, this is just the latest in a slew of legal cases involving Alex Murdaugh. What are prosecutors saying Fleming did to face 30 charges, including 18 felony counts?
Well, in a word, Katie, conspiracy. Officials say Fleming plotted with Murdaugh to steal millions from the family of Murdaugh's former housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield. She died in a trip and fall at the Murdaugh's home in 2018. Fleming didn't say a word in court today. His defense attorney did the talking. His wife and his elderly parents were also in the room. We're told Fleming is not cooperating with the Attorney General's office. Prosecutors say Murdaugh convinced Satterfield's sons to hire Cory Fleming as their attorney in order to sue Murdaugh for the death settlement. Murdaugh never disclosed Fleming was a personal acquaintance. Murdaugh walked away with $3.4 million and Fleming got a six-figure cut. The Satterfields say they had no idea their mother's estate was ever settled until attorney Eric Bland and his partner uncovered the alleged fraud.
He's going to maintain that he was a victim like everybody else and that Alex, this Wizard of Oz of Alex, fooled him too. And I think it's going to be difficult for him to show that because he did so many things that were intentional, misrepresented costs.
Bland says Fleming sold $28,000 from his client's settlement. The Satterfields didn't receive any money until recently. Meantime, court documents show nearly $114,000 remained in a trust intended for Fleming. Fleming was suspended from his law practice when all this was uncovered. He has since repaid money originally intended for the Satterfield family. And coming up, tracking the checks, what Fleming is accused of doing with the settlement money. That's next at 6. Back to you, Katie.
Thanks, Ann. Well, then there's Alex Murdaugh. He's still in a Richland County jail cell tonight. The disgraced Low Country lawyer faces dozens of charges related to financial misdeeds. His lawyers have also said Murdaugh is a person of interest in the death of his wife and son in Colleton County last year. And first tonight at 5, in the last few hours, we've received another bombshell in the Alex Murdaugh saga, this time in the form of a video deposition. We hear for the first time how Alex kept the family of his late housekeeper, Gloria Satterfield, in the dark about a multi-million-dollar death settlement in her name. Plus, we learned more on the involvement of a Hampton banker. Ann Emerson is combing through the deposition now, and she's got some of the new details tonight for us. Ann?
Well, Chad Westendorf is the vice president of Palmetto State Bank in Hampton. In 2018, he agreed to be the personal representative for Gloria Satterfield's family, to represent them in court and to protect their best interests. And in his own words, under oath, Westendorf admitted in a deposition last month he didn't do that. He admits he never let the boys know about money coming to them. 2 settlements totaling $4.3 million, most of which ended up in Alex Murdaugh's pockets. In this portion of the deposition, you'll hear Westendorf tell the Satterfield's attorney, in fact, he never contacted the boys at all and didn't even know it was his responsibility.
But nobody told you, like Cory didn't tell you, hey, I'm going to keep the boys abreast.
No, sir.
And you certainly didn't see a letter from Cory to the boys saying, hey, by the way, I just settled, Chad and I settled the initial claim for $505,000. You never saw that.
I never saw that, no.
You realize that the boys are real live people.
Sure.
Okay. And that they have a right to know if money's recovered in connection with their mother's death, what that amount was. Right?
Certainly.
As a personal representative, it was Westendorf's duty to keep the boys abreast of all developments. But according to Westendorf, he didn't know he was an officer of the court or even what his obligations were to the boys as their personal representative. Westendorf says he assumed Alex's friend and fellow attorney Cory Fleming was in control.
What was your job? SPR, tell me what you were supposed to do.
I don't know.
Were you supposed to be just in name only, or did you have actual affirmative duties? You don't know?
I don't know. I mean, my first meeting with Cory, I asked what I needed to do as personal representative. Did I need to?
And what did he tell you?
Guidance. He said, nothing at this moment. I'll take care of it.
We also learned today it was Alex Murdaugh who asked Westendorf to be the Satterfield's personal representative. Again, bizarre considering Alex was being sued. Murdaugh is facing several criminal charges as a result of this case and dozens more from other reported thefts. I also spoke with Eric Bland today, and coming up at 6, Bland tells me why he was so surprised that this deposition ever happened.